What's going on there, guys? Good morning, good afternoon to some out there. It's the Earth Master here on this Friday, September 2nd, 2022 date. Whole bunch of twos there in that date. Latest quake shows a 1.0 earthquake. Looks like 1.0, and also where'd the 1.0 go? Looks like right around the California area, Northern California region. The latest quake there on the globe. Let's go ahead and check out the latest activity across the flat scale model Earth here. Showing some movement across the region, mostly confined here today to the Tonga area. The latest quake within the last hour seen a 5.0. Earlier last night as well, seen some movement within this region. And yesterday, quite a bit of deep activity. So there's a little bit of adjustment going on down there at the surface, or below the surface, way down there, and also towards the surface level. So we'll watch this area pretty closely. But also, don't discredit the amount of, or the lack of activity here around Solomon Islands, because a lot of times when we get this major adjustment down here, we start looking at these areas here for further adjustment to the west and northwest area. Around the Banda Sea, Indonesia area, seen a couple earthquakes, one this morning, and it looks like one last night. So a little activity bouncing in between there as well in different time frames. Same for up here around the Java Trench and the Andaman Sea. All seen a little activity yesterday and overnight. One earthquake here in the last hour with a 4.9 in Afghanistan. Looks like that's a pretty shallow earthquake just outside the mountain ranges there at 16 kilometers below the surface. As we work our way further west, a little activity in Greece. This one coming in late last night. Crete seen a 4.4 at 42 kilometers. Got one earthquake down here in the South Sandwich Trench area. That one kicking off. Looks like that was late afternoon time frame yesterday, possibly early evening. 4.7 in the South Sandwich Islands area. South America, not a whole lot going on there today. A couple earthquakes into the Peru Chile Trench. A little bit of activity overnight in the Puerto Rico region, but that has since kind of died off this morning. And one earthquake way up here outside of Maine once again, near Centerville, Maine, at 2.6. This area has been getting a little bit of activity over time, and it's not uncommon to see this activity up there. 2.6, not a big earthquake, but definitely it looks like it was felt by a few folks in the area. Things kind of dying off here in the Texas area today. Yesterday seen a 4.7 and a couple other 4s in there, and a bunch of 3s. So things definitely rocking and rolling out there in the Texas area yesterday. Today a different story. And in fact, the entire West Coast is a little bit of a different story today. Not a whole lot going on through the Pacific Northwest. Yellowstone, we'll check that out here in a little bit. Got one earthquake outside of Medford, it looks like, near the Butte Falls, Oregon area, 11 kilometers. Northern California, not much going on up there at all. Got an earthquake here along the San Andreas Fault at 1.1 near Pacifica. That is just off the San Andreas Fault system, it looks like. Not a big earthquake, but within the last hour, that 1.1 hitting. And a little spotty activity through the rest of the state. We are noticing a little bit of trend of movement on the north side of the Garlock Fault shear zone. Notice this linear activity here. The White Wolf Fault zone kind of jumps and skips here around this area. But aside from that, these are all microquakes in the area striking there this morning. And not a whole lot going on further south. We got one earthquake in the Salton Sea area at the southern end of the San Andreas Fault. That's only a 1.6, but otherwise, no major swarming, no major movement to report at all along the west coast. And the Yellowstone area, notice that things kind of jumped there for a second. That was a little on the odd. Oh, I see what I did here. I just included all the magnitudes on the map. I was wondering about this new Madrid zone here, 2.2 and a 1.2. These are earthquakes striking overnight time frame, much smaller activity. Looks like the South Carolina region, we skipped this because we had this on the 2.5 and above, but the South Carolina region seen a 1.5 overnight near Centerville. And back to the Centerville, near Centerville. Hold on a second here. Let's see what we got going on here. Centerville, South Carolina. Okay, and we go up here to the north. Centerville, Maine. Oh, what's going on there with these names here? Some kind of coding? I thought I was seeing. Thought I was seeing things there, but we got two Centervilles out there, both showing some earthquake activity there on the USGS map. 2.6 and a 1.9 there. All right, let's zigzag out of here, so to speak. Alaska seeing some movement, but not a whole lot, folks. Although if you look, we'll go ahead and zoom in here to this area once again. This is the Trident Volcano. This area, over the past couple days, been relatively quiet, but over the last 3 or 4 weeks or so, we've seen a pretty good increase in earthquake activity around the Trident Volcano in Alaska. Now, the swarms, they come and go, but this one's been kind of lingering for a little while, looking at roughly around 200 earthquakes or so within this region. I believe they're all microquake. Go back to the 30 days, 2.5 and above. Yeah, there's not anything above the 2.5 threshold. So the majority of this, again, right around the Trident Volcano. And I don't believe we got any adjustments going on there from the Alaskan Volcano Observatory. No notification. In fact, everything still looks green within that area of the Trident Volcano. Normal. When we go to the site there's no, doesn't look like there's any updates. Most recent activity was back in 1953, as far as any volcanic type activity. But it is showing a little bit of activity as far as the microquake activity, swarm goes. Continue to keep an eye on that up there for sure. All right, what else we got? Not, like I said, not a whole lot really happening today. Aside from just a couple areas showing some further pressure, and I think that's the Alaska region with that swarming up there. The Aleutian Trench also showing a little bit of activity ramping up, and yeah, just a little bit of it. It looks like Southern California just lighting up here as we speak. So we'll watch it. All right, Yellowstone National Park. The swarming activity that we've seen here over the last, about last week or so has pretty much come to a stop. Looking at the area of the epicenter, still shows a little bit of microquake activity. I think that still maybe can count for day number 8 of the swarming, although this is definitely not what I would call any type of intense swarming. These are all very small microquakes, probably under the 1 threshold, 1.0, and they're dwindling. So the multitude and magnitudes are going down. Looks like there was a little bit of earthquake activity outside of this swarming area, further down south. Now we've been watching this swarm kind of bounce back and forth, and it looks like even though today it's quiet up here, we're getting a little bit more activity kind of ramping up on the southern side of the Yellowstone caldera. This area showing some activity within the last couple hours here. And far as the magnitudes go, let's bring up the all magnitudes here real quick. What's going on? You guys see what's going on here? That's a little on the odd side. I'm not for sure what's going on. I don't know if USGS is pulling earthquakes off the map or what. Maybe I'm seeing things. South Carolina earthquake's gone. Oh goodness, it's Friday, right? Entering into the twilight zone. Ooh, okay, so one day, all magnitudes, not showing a whole lot, folks. Goodness, not for sure what's going on there. What? You guys see that? Now it's here. Okay, very funny. All right. I think on that respect, I'm gonna go into space weather and pretend like that didn't happen. There is a G2 class storm coming up, September 4th time frame, and that is from a large coronal hole that is facing us square on. I'm not even joking. It's perfectly angled up at us, and this thing will be producing some storming conditions there at the higher and mid latitudes. number 20, that is. The most recent imagery here is shifting off a little bit here to the western side of the disk of the sun, but that solar wind stream is headed our way, and again, that will kind of kick up some conditions here around September 4th with a G2 class storm expected. No major flaring happening right now. Getting a little bit of some C flares, and it kind of looks like that's from sunspot 3089. Now that it's kind of wanting to face away from Earth, it gets a little active. Just a little odd. This thing's been doing some weird things. 3092 is growing along the southeastern limb of the sun here, and maybe another new sunspot a little bit closer here to the Earth side. We'll watch those and see what develops of those sunspots. All right, guys, got a busy day, so we will get started on that, and we'll chat you guys a little bit later tonight with the Friday night update. Stay safe out there, and watch out for the Twilight Zone type stuff. It's going to be one of those days. Peace out.